Thankfully, we've still got Fox here with us for map 2.
Hey guys, how's it going? I really love to see the energy at SSG in those last couple of defenses, but they need to start off hotter this game. They can't let it go down to 6-1 off the start.
Yeah, it was a pretty grim beginning for SSG, but like you said, they did make a decent comeback. 7-4, down from a 5-1 first half. That's nothing to be too ashamed of. However, they will be a little bit rattled going into map 2, knowing that they lost their own map pick.
They just got to focus on exactly what Lax said. Obviously, they can't hear him, but exactly what Lax was saying is if they focus less on the prep and focus on playing their game, they looked better when they had the individual plays and these pop-off players playing like themselves than really hypo-analyzing Scarz.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly. Don't overthink it.
I'm going to make you do a bit of overthinky for me, though. What's your interpretation on the popularity of banning Ying? Why Ying?
It's really surprising because SSG is a team that loves playing Ying. They love playing Ying, Blitz, Monty, Glaz, all of the crazy operators, the cheese operators. So them banning it out must mean that Scarz has something cooked up with the Ying, or that they've done in the past. It's not a little surprising. It's not too surprising, but coming from SSG, I mean, any other NA team I'd expect it, but SSG, they love Ying. So they must be comfortable getting rid of it.
Well, the surprising ban to me here is actually the knock. It's very uncommon these days, but with
That's a hot and cold ban, I reckon.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. SSG loves having that knock wrapping through Moto, going down the main stairs. You're able to catch off a lot of picks with the knock just because there's not too many cams that you can play off of, and if you have a knock that can slide all the way down main on a basement hold, get into Moto, that could completely devastate a round. Or going up red on a cash round, that could be a completely devastating round.
I think the important thing here with the ban phase is that the 2 injection operators have been taken out for SSG. Although they are not starting out on the attack, it's actually Scarz that will begin on the attack instead. That being said, we do see Pyeon actually go in for the repick onto the Ossa as well. Now, we've seen Scarz do this before. They have this magic trick over down in the basement where they like to send the Ossa down with the hatch drop later, along with all the utility, so that they can't be shot as they go down for the hatch drop by the player, like playing back Arsenal or something like that, right? Or back AK, sorry.
It is a good idea to get in. You don't see too much of that in NA. I wonder how SSG will deal with it. Usually, I'll be looking for the player that plays B3. Usually there will be a player there with a C4 that could potentially deal with the Osa. Sorry, I don't know why I almost just said Osa exactly how you guys say it with the accents. Been around you guys too much.
Apparently Osa is correct, though. I've asked Medics, our Croatian observer, and of course Osa, the Croatian operator. Apparently Osa is the correct way. We're just terrible. Hey, he's in my ear right now. He's saying it's Osa.
Osa. Fair enough.
Alright, here goes Ashen on his roam all the way in the top floor. Double drones at the moment, inside a garage as well. So Scarz, they do have some understanding that there is a player on the top floor. Double entry as well. Both Washoy and Rek have entered into the building at the same time. Janano as well, inside of stock, will be that sort of middle ground sandwich roamer as the entries start to come through. There goes Rek on the other side of the garage window.
Does he know? Does Ashton know? He's so close. He swings the corner and easily takes down Rek. The trade is quick, though, and Washoy is able to even the numbers.
That's a good 1-for-1. I think Ashton taking that out, he wasn't really going to be able to get downstairs. They have Tayu already locking off connector, so he was pretty much stuck there. Going 1-for-1 is a good trade. It sets up the rest of SSG, who's playing inside bar and stock, to be able to roam there a lot longer. Wow, Forrest outside the map.
Is he stuck? I mean, how is he going to be able to fall off here? I think Moto Hatch is closed for him, so he's got to go down to bottom main. But Fishlike is here for the cutoff. They're also going to send in a drone to reconfirm his position as well. So Forrest is in a do-or-die situation at the moment. He takes a little bit of HP. A player on the other side, but it's actually Fultz to help him out.
Yeah, Fishlike going down in the hallway is perfect. It's exactly what they needed. I'm not sure what information there was other than sound, but losing the Hibana as well so early in the round, on top of getting a man advantage, it's everything that SSG could hope for.
The communication between Forrest and Fultz there to use that C4 in the kitchen hall, especially when Forrest was trapped, was beautiful. I was scared because I didn't think Fishlike was going to be able to get that shot if he ran back. He decides to push in, which is the great play behind the drone. And Fultz's C4 with Forrest's communication, that was just a perfect play C4. No information other than your teammates' comms.
40 seconds away and ticking as well. Washoi only now we're starting to make work through the vertical onto the floor, and that means that the back of Arsenal has now been vacated. But this is where Pion starts to matter. Come through the execute phase. Are they going to dedicate themselves to the kitchen hatch drop? No, they won't. They don't have the hard reach for it anymore, and they need to pivot and go for something down blue.
Smoke to try and cover up that mirror window, but this is very desperate now for Scarz. SSG in a straight shot position with Foltz just holding on to dirt tunnel. Washoi, a good nade here, but it doesn't quite land. He almost gets a shot off, but Pion finds the opener coming to support. Washoi gets one as well. Oh, how does it happen like this? Washoi's gone down to the Capcan trap. Pion looking for the plant, but Foltz can clutch the round for SSG. Far closer than it should have been, but the American roster just steal their nerve and steal the round.
That was a little too close for comfort. A little too close for comfort. The cap cans, finally, the cap cans coming into play. The ones on Moto, the ones in bar didn't hit anybody, but the ones on dirt, they got the pick on the dirt player. I don't know how they were able to push through blue. You'd think that would be impossible, but the fact that they were able to walk in with the Osa, not only get the picks and make it that close, thank God they were low HP for Foltz. It was an easy 2v1 for him.
Oh my god, the Scarz players have actually got like a physical strap book like on the desk with them. Oh my gosh.
The printouts.
Yeah, go back to analog.
Have you seen SSG's desk?
No.
They literally will print out like their enemy strats and they just have them like Google Docs. They have like a bunch of...
Oh my god.
You literally see them just on their desk whenever it cuts to their camera.
What's the ruling? Sorry, I know maybe you shouldn't be asking this on the desk, but you're a player. Once you hit land, what's the ruling about like what you can have open?
I think you're allowed to have any type of book, any type of piece of paper. So obviously no phones, no iPads, no computers. Just piece of paper.
So it has to be analog, all your notes?
Yeah, essentially.
It can't be digital at all. Oh, really interesting. Oh, anyway, sorry. Side note, I was very curious about that one. We're going to go over to CCTV and Cash for the second bomb side of choice for SSG, having won out the basement, leaning into the Izami. Well, my combination set up going into rafters will make it a little more tricky for Scarz to clear up. That being said, they have brought along 2 sets of grenades and double hard breach as well. So if they want to do a multifaceted push, they certainly can. But the first minigame they'll need to play is over on the CCTV wall. It is going to be Forest with Bandit on the other side, and they have brought along the EMPs on Tayo.
The aggression from SSG at the start of these rounds have been amazing so far. Really making sure Scarz knows who they're playing against, forcing them to respect each other. Bandit Trick's going to come out. I think it's going to get the Thermite, but it won't be able to get the Ace. That's a fair trade. Thermites are always a lot harder to fight against when they get the wall open with it, but when an Ace is on it, it's a small hole. It's not the worst thing in the world to deal with.
They're still going to dedicate an exothermic charge to the wall anyway, so they do want this to be an entry hole come later on in the rounds regardless. That, or maybe the breach player just likes the right side open. I don't know, it could be a preference thing as well. Meanwhile, the rest of Scarz are starting to work this con side of the map. There goes Ashen, aggressive in their mid-game, going out onto Wreck, but he's going to take him down. Meanwhile, though, Foltz still in the ground floor. Could do some dirty business come later on in the round if Scarz aren't ready for it.
Hang on, that's the Echo they just lost.
Oh, no way.
Absolutely, yeah. I think obviously he saw an intuition play. It looks like SSG is really trying to play with their aggression right now. Can't be mad about a play like that that doesn't go well. Hot and Cold's going to try and trade it back. It's not going to work, but Foltz with this angle from bottom kitchen. He might get stuck here if they get that angle onto main stairs.
Yeah, and they do indeed have the gridlock track stingers to cover him off on that flank. J9 in a bit of an awkward position as he's going to lose his key, but barriers. He will use another one to secure his retreat back to the bomb site.
Solis has used her impacts now, so you can't rely on her being able to stop the plant. They do have one C4 on Bandit, but you can't, again, rely on the communication between the two to be what guides you through that plant. If both players are downstairs and they decide to push the site or go deep, it's going to be really difficult to stop that plant.
I mean, do they have to make a play here? They're in such a numbers deficit. Like, do they have to get aggressive before the execute comes through?
They're going to have to make a play on one of the areas, and it looks like that's what they're leading up to do, is retaking connector.
And here goes Foltz, close on the connector door, but with only 30 seconds left to go, Scarz have got to start to press the attack. They want to play in these off angles. That's what SSG wants to do, and Forest, like you pointed out earlier, is going to be the sole C4 from down below, but there goes Washoi on the backstab.
One pick for Scarz, 2 more to find. A nade almost lands, and J90 is finally cut down. Foltz, don't do this to me. 1 kill, 2 kills, but stabbed in the back by Pion. Trigger discipline, restraint shown. A setup beautiful for an amazing moment, but it just doesn't quite work out.
You never expect a third one. You never expect the third one. One, maybe two, but a third? Not too often. You know who wasn't being expected is Forrest, when he went downstairs, was not expecting that sledge front door. And that is honestly where it costed them. Because you have to assume that somebody's going to be playing downstairs, especially if you have 5 players up like Scarz did. Sending one person downstairs to flank up red is a good X factor. To deal with somebody who could be stopping the plant, flank up red, win the round through him. I don't think they were prepared.
It looked like every player that died in that round for SSG was making some kind of aggressive play, especially those first 2 picks. Seems almost unnecessary. It feels like maybe SSG don't have the right read on the playstyle against Scarz.
Well, I feel like for SSG, they felt like sort of the gravity of Scarz like being drawn to Ashen, right? Ashen was really that frontline defender that went for the intuition play. And so the rest of SSG tried to like piggyback off the back of that, right? Like if there are Scarz players that are distracted by whatever's going down inside of Master, surely the player on the balcony is not going to be looking back, right? But Fishlike is on the roof and he stares down a player inside a garage. It's just small things like that that are, I would say, unfortunate for SSG, to be honest. I do feel like they are trying to be in support of their players, even cross-map. But I think Scarz are playing a disciplined game.
It's a fine line when you figure out something that's working. SSG obviously found a formula on Nighthaven where they were playing aggressive, and those were the only rounds they were winning. So obviously they're trying to replicate that style of play on these defenses, but it is a fine line because you can go from a smart aggressive play to just over-cranking. And I think that's what we saw that round. Not every play is going to work, but you got to try. You got to throw things at the ceiling and see what sticks.
Here goes Scarz is clear of the gym and bedroom bomb site as well. Sweep across the map as they get this cutoff angle open with Pion opening up the con wall. No one to contest it on the other side. They haven't brought along the bandit this time, have SSG, so no wall to null at all.
There goes the mirror.
Wow, gosh, that's a bit of abstract art in the mirror as well for Ashen. Is he stuck here? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's actively looking at the angle for now, but once again, no wall to null on the jacuzzi wall either. Does mean that Pion can freely get open the second wall as well. Not just that, but Fishlike as well. It's got one more Selma charge in hand, so if they do want to deal with one of those mirrors at range, they can do that as well. Now it's time for Scarz to have a think through this mid-round. How are they going to execute onto the bomb site? What is the point either of least resistance or a point that they can then go and problem solve come the last couple minutes of the round?
They've opened up everything, and it looks like Tayu and Washore are going to try to make their way towards clearing cache. They've opened up everything, isolating the SSG players, keeping them in their position. Hot and Cold is going to be the only person they have to deal with first. Can he go massive in this position on the red stairs?
It does seem like a sweep across the map is going to be the push of choice for Scarz. Oh, there goes Tayo on his way in on the blitz.
Yeah, and Washoy has come up the red stairs to finally take down Hot and Cold. A nice 2-pronged attack from Scarz to cut down the first player of SSG as the rest of the team must pull back.
40 seconds though left on the defense. Ashen is going to fall back a little bit from a safe haven in Logi, but there goes Faults from down below. Undetected so far. And with the time ticking down, it's up to Scarz now to press the attack as they make their way on through con.
Look at Ashen too. Ashen making his way downstairs. They're going to be playing the impacts and the C4 from below, but Washoy, low HP, but he has a plan. Will he be able to get these two away from the diffuser?
Washoy so close. Oh, perfect read, but Faults just needs to round this corner. Washoy goes down to the vertical angle. Ashen has been perfect, but Pion has traded him on back again. Tayo pushes in with the blitz, finds the pick. 2 more players to go for SSG, but Faults can take down that player. Jumping in the window, Tayo must plant. And it's up to Fishlike to cover. Forrest, the C4 doesn't land. And the cover has to be from Fishlike. Faults for 1, for 2. Forrest comes in, swoops in for SSG, and they'll fire up after taking the lead.
They set up there perfectly, especially playing around their utility. They have the Solus, they're going to use it. They have a C4 downstairs, they're going to use it. Their C4 players already playing on main stairs to be able to deny the one hard spot that you can't impact. The Blitz almost was devastating. The Blitz pushing through Logi was able to clear out the Frost. It could have been a short round. The C4 also missed, but thank God Faults was there. Good intuition off of his impact. He was able to clear out the other player. And then it was a 2-on-1. Blitz was planning, he was caught with his pants around his ankles, like you said earlier.
Yeah. It was scrappy.
How many times are we going to use that euphemism in this game?
That's my new favourite one. I'll tell you what, I've got a few favourite phrases at the moment, especially when we cast SSG. That's where all the space words get excited.
Yeah.
It's good fun. I like
Astronomical.
We're going to go down to the basement for SSG. Having successfully defended twice now, Scarz with only 1 point on the board are looking to play catch-up, as they do look like they are roaming across the entire map. They're not going to open up this moto hatch, but they are going to use the castle to extend their way through all 3 floors and look for a safe fallout route after that.
The last defense that they were on the basement site, Ashen went for an aggressive fight, and he had Forrest and Fultz playing very aggressively shortly after in Moto and in blue, above the blue hatch. This round, they're bringing out the Castle and the Mira and the Ella, almost as if they want to do a complete turtle and really force Scarz to have to clear them and have to find them. It's a good night and day difference. One round they play super aggressive, they won the round. Now they're going to keep Scarz on their toes, play a little bit more passive, and make Scarz have to keep thinking forward instead of the round behind them.
It does look like there is a little presence, though, left for SSG on the ground floor. They haven't completely forfeited the map just yet, but like you pointed out, the top floor has actually been forfeited. And that's where Wishoy can get his drone inside a garage and start to inform the push.
We didn't get to see, excuse me, we didn't get to see too much out of Pion with the Osa on the last attack on the basement. This round, they're being given everything. So if they're going to go for a kitchen plant, if they're going to go for a moto drop, the Osa is going to come in clutch here. But it's all going to be on how Pion uses it and pushes with the team with that diffuser. He doesn't have the diffuser in hand now, but if he's the Osa, he has to be the one that's going for those plants.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the last round and this round, is that this time Fishlike has actually had the opportunity to use his hard breach to open up the kitchen hatch. Last time around, it came through the execute phase. There wasn't even the kitchen hatch open for Pion to actually drop down. They had to go through blue instead. So now Scarz have been afforded the opportunity through the mid-round to open up their options and keep SSG guessing.
They've already managed to open up that kitchen hatch with half the round still remaining. It looks like SSG are playing fairly passively, but have a look at that setup bottom main.
I love this mirror setup. It allows your bottom main player to be able to get contested by the church player, especially with all that info you have. Nobody in their right mind is going to want to be playing against that mirror on the bottom stairs. So if no one's playing there, later in the round for the execute, Fultz having 2 impacts in his pocket can impact the back of Armory and stop a plant. So you don't even have to rely on being able to shoot the Osa that's going to be dropping. You can just go for the flank and the retake afterwards. It doesn't look like Scarz even wants to try and contest it against the ace. So that's where I'd be worried. They'll have to be holding it from top main, or else Fultz is going to be able to stop the plant very easily.
Scarz now being afforded a false sense of security as the retake strategy seems to be on for SSG. Although they have this full vertical pressure, they're not going to be able to find a pick out of it. Now the danger here is, can they then go and flood into the bomb site with only 35 seconds left to go? It actually doesn't look like a kitchen hatch drop. Where have all the Scarz players actually gone? I think they've identified that this point of resistance, okay, never mind, maybe they are still going to go for it, but they have realized that they need a couple players either down on the ground floor or doing something else to catch off SSG as they look to deny this drop.
Indecision for a brief moment from Scarz. Pion goes down, but the shield does not protect him from Hot and Cold's fire. And a second and a third and a fourth now for SSG. It all comes down to Fishlike flawless for Space Station. They cannot execute.
Phenomenal round at SSG. We saw that Mira do exactly as intended. Even if they get the castle open from Moto, he's got 3 more Kiba barriers in his pocket. He can close it off, forcing the attackers to have to go through Moto door, which they have a player in blue and a Mira that's able to see it that can just stop that push. But it didn't even get that far. Pion got shot through his shield, and then the C4 from Ashen, not getting Pion, but actually getting the guy behind him. I mean, you couldn't have painted a better picture of that round.
Too many layers, I think, for Scarz to break down with too little time to do it. And that's SSG going up 3-1 on their defending half.
We even heard them right there at the end, make them execute, they can't execute. And I think that's going to be the biggest question going into these next defenses is, are they going to be able to execute? And Scarz, it's almost the reverse of what happened last map. Nothing's working for them. They have to be able to find a pick to get that foothold into attempting to attack the strat.
Well, there's only 2 more rounds in this half. Realistically, SSG happy with the 3, or are they gunning for 4? Or Is it game over if Scarz only win a single round in this half?
No, you can't be happy with 3. You can't be happy with 3, especially being up 3-1. You always want to stab the knife a little deeper. Obviously, a 4-2 is going to be the best split on average that you're going to get on Clubhouse. But if you can get a 5-1 is so mentally taxing. It's so difficult to come back from a 5-1. 4-2, you can do it. 4-2 is a comeback story. 5-1 is, let's go map 3.
Yeah, as we saw on the first map, SSG were down 1-5 after the first half and unable to make that comeback work despite a valiant effort 3 rounds in a row. Wow, very early Yokai taken down from Rek.
Look how slow Scarz is playing.
I was going to say that he's playing really cautiously, even though he might have been afforded some of his early control inside of Strip. Actually, there isn't even the early control afforded there. It's Hot and Cold actually playing solo inside of Strip. They're playing such a cautious game on their approach into the map.
It's almost as if Hot and Cold knows that they're going to be trying to clear out Strip, so he's already trying to make his way out so that he can give it to him. I think SSG is trying to play keep away going into this round. They don't want to fight. They're bringing a lot of info and a lot of denial to hold up top and the basement. Hot and Cold's going to be able to get out unscathed. I believe he still has 1 drone set up in the site too. So you give him Strip. Scarz has invested a lot of resources for it, but now you don't have the meat and potatoes. You don't have the top floor or the basement.
Very linear push so far for Scarz, and they're going to need to mount some other point of pressure. That being said, they've injected Rek into the ground floor, but like you pointed out, the info is there for SSG. They do have a read that Scarz at the moment are having a think about the bomb site. There are 2 or 3 drones that have just gone in through bar and stage, but like you pointed out, it could be a false sense of security once again for Scarz. They think they can execute, but really they can't. There are a couple more layers of the onion that they need to peel apart before they can go for it.
The Solus is just going to give an easy call to where they're planning. They don't even need the Echo drone to stop the plant. They have the players above in Master. They have the mirrors around the players in Master. You're not going to be able to send a rat up to deal with these players. You have to send more than 1 or 2 people to deal with it head on.
But do they have the time? There's 50 seconds left to go, right? At this point, do they really have the time to afford to make a mini execute work on the top floor as they're trying to go in for the bomb site? The info is still here as well for Hot and Cold. Even the entry has come out from Rek on the other side in the kitchen hallway. What are they going to do about it? Yes, he's going to try and send some grenades up from below, but really, it just doesn't feel like enough. Come the execute phase with 30 seconds left to go. The logic bomb will ring out for Scarz, but it's looking dire.
SSG said make them execute. Let's see if Scarz can deliver on the promise. The diffuser almost down, but Bjorn denied. The last second falls for the flank. He gets a double the flick. And SSG, they might have the perfect read. They've made them execute. They've made them feel this pain. Fish-like desperate to get that diffuser. But the MVP of the round continues his onslaught. SSG cannot deny that they have won another round. 4-1 up in the advantage on Clubhouse. Fired up and ready to flame Scarz.
They can't execute. That's been the story of this map so far, and it's really coming true. You see it every second the way that SSG is playing. They're rather running away than taking the gunfights. They're not even risking it. In the early game, we saw them going for these aggressive plays. They overcranked. They decided to pull it back and force Scarz to have to clear them out, have to go for the plants. Even though Scarz is making good leeway in their time, taking good position, it's not the position they need to take. Obviously, couldn't have had a better flank myself. Folt's beautiful flank there, giving the info to the players above to be able to stop that plant right before it's about to go off, and he's able to just clean up.
Such a cool spray transfer as well that we watched on his part. I mean, he gets the first, he turns 90 degrees, and like cleans the second one up as well. Oh, P90 power.
Did you hear what he said as well?
What did he say?
Get off me. He wins that round. He looks to his teammate with a sly smile on his dial, and he says, get off me. SSG are like a completely different team from what we saw on Nighthaven.
If you look at the kills too, it's almost as if Foltz is unchained. You know, Foltz is one of those players that is consistent. Everybody knows his skill. Major 1 didn't have too hot of a major. This last NAL stage, he's been playing a lot better. I feel like picking up a player like Ashen really lit a fire under him to be able to, you know, he was once the young guy on the team. He's not getting old. There's not a new younger guy. So I love to see this out of him. He's playing a lot more of the Solus, a lot more of these flexible ops, and we haven't seen this from him until this event.
12-2 is a good scoreline in 10 rounds, and he's done it in half as many.
sweep across the map for Scarz. The bomb site is gym and bedroom for SSG, having won out their last one over on bar and stage as well. For Scarz, I think it's really about committing to an idea here. I think don't get too overthinky. We're trying to do something finicky or whatever it might be. It's gym and bedroom. If you can get open what you need to, put the pressure on the bomb site, and then actually dedicate themselves to going in for an execute rather than spending all this time in the mid-round like loitering and waiting for something to happen. SSG are playing a really disciplined game right now, right? They're not giving them anything in the mid to early round because they know that the weakness in Scarz at the moment is that late round.
Scarz had a really good start attacking on Master this last attack, opening up all the walls. This round, though, the mirror has rotated. They're not going to get a free mirror on the Logi wall. They're going to have a little bit more of a harder hold, and they're bringing the Azami. And they're not playing down low. They're always keeping the next round that they're going to one step ahead of Scarz. They're not playing on the round behind. They're playing on the round forward. SSG is planning to fight up top head on, expecting Scarz to have to deal with what they ran the prior Master round, which is the downstairs play.
That being said, there are 2 sets of grenades down below at the moment, and there's no one there to contest them, like you just said. So this could be Scarz's opportunity to actually dislodge the defense from bottom up, but Fultz doesn't care. He's going to check the angle from down below to see if he can catch anyone. And in fact, 2 of those grenades, it's about to be 4 of them, are not going to sink onto a single SSG player. So all 4 of the grenades and a player himself, Washoy, has just been taken down the vertical. Actually, Rek has got 1 more in hands. Okay, thank goodness they can at least get a trade, but that was a very expensive trade.
Especially on time. The kill for time is not fair enough. All of SSG playing super far back. They still have utility to deny from below, and they also have Ashen playing behind all of these Keepa barriers inside gym. It's going to be so hard to clear because you've used all 4 of your grenades for 1 kill.
Not a good spot now as Fishlike is now facing the resistance on the other side. Not only was there a mirror window, well, it's now been popped open, but there's also a shield at top main that he's got to face. Rek has got an idea that there is Ashen on the other side of this rotation hole, but doesn't have a grenade to sink into his position. Here goes the flood of utility, though, from Scarz. The flashbangs to initiate themselves in, but it's Ashen to meet them on the other side.
And he finds the first, looking for more, but doesn't feel a lot of pressure. Rek punishes an over-aggressive J90, but Forrest is there for the trade, all up to Fishlike now. Fox, you said it, SSG have done it. 5-1 in the first half. They have dominated, they have replied in kind to Scarz, and the Japanese will now have to have the comeback of their lives to keep this game alive.
The confidence you must feel, especially going down on your first map, to start so hot on a second map.
Get the cuts, get the flank set up, and we're going to crank anybody's solar aerobics still, okay?
Look at that, you can hear him saying it, crank. They know exactly what they're talking about. Sometimes you'll listen to a SSG listening and you can get a little lost, but it's really refreshing to listen to comms like that. But so far, they have not let Scarz get a breath in this game. They're keeping them on their toes, forcing them to plant, forcing them to execute. Scarz haven't really been able to find anything.
I like that from Pyon, the captain of the roster, trying to inject a little bit of an energy back into them as well. You could see just in a very short listening we got of Scarz. Yes, they are down 5-1, but Pyon is still giving the chant. Okay, guys, fighting, you know? All right, and everyone responds to it. It's good energy.
It is good energy. But NA is here, baby.
I love that. It's the most energy we've heard from you this cast, Fox. You're getting fired up. SSG have done something pretty incredible on this second map. We saw a flash of greatness on defense on Nighthaven, but it was too little too late after the 6-1 lead that Scarz had found for themselves at the end of the first half. And now in Clubhouse, it really feels like the team names have switched and the roles have reversed. SSG now find themselves in the dominant position Scarz had on Nighthaven.
It's taken a little time, but I think they've got a good read on Scarz. That's always the most difficult thing playing against APAC. Every team is so different, especially within their inner regions. It's so difficult to get a good beat, but once you do, it's very similar round after round.
That being said, now that the side swap has happened, do you then have to get a reread on the team that you've played against?
Absolutely, you absolutely do. Although, being down 5-1 is a very daunting task. You tend to not make as aggressive plays because the thought of not messing up is always going to be in the back of your head. And if the question of Scarz's immaturity as a team to be left into this game, it might be the downfall of them this map is that daunting feeling.
Valkyrie plays C4 from Washoy. He's not going to land onto Hot and Cold because he doesn't actually go for a full sweep of the map. Instead, realizing that the top floor has been vacated, will drop down into the ground floor straight away and start to make use of the vertical. Well, he's heard the Phantom C4 and is thinking, danger, danger, but actually he's completely safe from it. Little does he know that, but alas, on the other side with the Buck at range, he can start to make some of this vertical game work for him. Meanwhile, on the other side, Forest as well will start to get some of that hard breach into the building. Actually, the kitchen hatch has already been opened up, so really, SSG doing some... Oh, that is not a hard breach charge, Hot and Cold.
Oh no, the land setup strikes again.
You'd know. Will Forest have enough hard breach here to open up all these hatches?
That's a great question. I think they're just going to have to make do. They'll be able to get all the hatches open, but I think they wanted to save those Hibana pellets to be able to get that church wall and make feet holes in them so that they can have an easier way into church.
Oh, well, Ashen has found the first pick elsewhere. Rek has been misdroned, and there's no Claymore here. This flank could be huge for Scarz. He spots out one player on drone, and he will find that first pick. J90 goes down, but now the flank, the jig, it is up. And SSG look to crank on the bomb site. 4v4. Let's see if their executes are a shade better than Scarz's. Hot and Cold finds the first one, but a wall bang will fall victim for Forest. He finds the info, but Hot and Cold is the last one standing. Trapped in blue, low HP, and dancing around the fire. Scarz are poised to find their second round of the game. Doesn't look possible for Hot and Cold, but he'll give it a crack anyway. The crank was not there, but Scarz finally have stemmed the bleeding, and they have a reply for SSG.
Scarz starting off slow. They didn't want to mess up, and they definitely did not. They brought the Goyo, the smoke, and later in that round, you saw they were able to shut off all of Moto door, which is why 3 SSG members had to walk through down the main hall. Now, if the Buck was there, they would have been able to go through the Ash Wall into back armory, have a little 1v1 with back armory, potentially have an easier foot in the site. But because of that beautiful flank from Rek, Hot and Cold, the Buck player, had to be the one to deal with it. He ended up shutting him down. Rek was only able to get one, but that flank itself took the Buck away from the rest of the execute. Time wasn't on SSG's side. They had to push down the hall, and they just got sandwiched.
These are the small details this game, isn't it? There are certain small margins that certainly are the telltale of rounds, especially come the late to mid-game. We might not notice it all the time on the cast, but with you here, we can certainly pick up some stuff like that. That's really fun.
I try to be of help.
Oh, very good. Thank you. We appreciate that.
To be honest, I just brought you on for the good looks, but
Okay.
if you have some other contributions, I'm all ears.
Fair enough. I will say, I gotta give respect to Rek being down such a strong lead and then going for a play like that. He had the solos, he had all the information. He was able to shut down the blue player, was J90, forcing Hot and Cold to rotate over. That play in itself won Scarz the round with all the denial that they were able to have.
Unafraid to make a mistake, despite the 1-5 deficit.
Rek would be the player to do that too. He's been so good. He was really good in Major 1, especially against SSG. And if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the top fraggers for Scarz in their region.
That's correct. That would be very correct, actually. A very fair statement. Here goes SSG on their approach into gym and bedroom, putting some pressure out on the jacuzzi wall as Pion's on the other side of this to look for the trick onto Ashton. But he doesn't quite get it just yet. I think Ashton's realized that the bandit is present here and they're going to take the exothermic charges over to the other side of the map instead. I believe that J90 on the Selma charges has at least made some headway over inside of Cash, so if they decide to try and make the sweep work, they certainly can, with that being a crouch hole. Forest as well down below is going to make sure that they can't be C4'd from bottom up, as there is a Valkyrie camera inside a server.
Very good read from SSG to drone out where the bandit's playing and go the opposite way. Path of least resistance right now. They obviously want to get angles open and they want to go for these gunfights. They're all feeling hot. If they can get the angles and get those fights, they'll surely feel at least in the better position.
Here's Teo on the other side with a C4 lineup going over into the breach, but a little too late. There are already players inside the building as he tosses one out, but it doesn't connect. Tough fall-off spot now, but that Selma charge is going to be mute jams over on the other side. It's going to put some safety, at least for a little while, for Teo. With the shotgun in hand, he's going to round the corner, but not connect any shots.
Well, he's going to be forced to move now, and he does find the pick on the J90. Elsewhere, Forest keen on the cover for Washoy, but there is a trade, and once again, back for Scarz. They refuse to let SSG slide with that numbers advantage.
Nice little 2-for-2 trade, falling back. I gotta ask myself, where are the Thatchers when you're trying to get that wall open? If they would have got that wall open, it would have probably been a cleaner execute on the green side.
Mate, he's got 13 kills. You can't criticize him.
No, you're right. It's my bad. But where are those Thatchers gonna be used? I'm very curious.
Ooh, close nade from Forest down below onto Fishlike. The second down to just a little under half HP, but not out, okay? Just as I've said that, they have flushed him out into hot and cold. Forest to send one more up, but there's no one playing on the chassis. There's only 2 defenders left on the Scarz to stop the onslaught. And with 25 seconds left, it's Pion to kick things off to look for the first pick.
Oh no, he's caught in the track, seeing as he didn't want to shoot them and give away his position. But as a result, now much restricted movement for Scarz as Faults and Hot and Cold with 2 L85s in hand, but Pion is prone and ready for it. He spots the feet, but he's in an awkward spot and round in the corner. Faults for 1. The trade from Rek. A 1 versus 1 in favor of Scarz as they try to continue this comeback.
That came down to the wire. Maybe if they use the Thatchers on the green wall,
You're not letting this one go.
they would have had a little bit. I really wasn't able to see where Faults was that round, but if they had the Thatcher on the green wall, any experienced player would know the mute jammer was the only thing stopping it. You Thatcher the mute jammer, you have an easier run in. You don't go 2-for-2. You probably have the man advantage in that situation. Regardless, though, I really like how SSG was setting up that round.
Let's go.
All right.
I love Pion. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
SSG was setting up the round really well, especially with having Forest downstairs for the nades. But Pion Rek, they made the play there. I really love how Pion was on the main stairs, got the pick on the Forest, and he was able to make it up through the track stingers all the way into gym and able to play and connect with his teammate.
The captain has his moments. He certainly does.
Ooh. I see a Montaigne chased out by Forest here from SSG. Scarz banded in the first map. We saw a lot of blitz. And we know how good Monty is here on club.
What's your read on this? Lethal or not lethal?
It'll be to pressure out Garage. I mean, it'll get its job done. The issue that we'll face is, can SSG hold below? Will they be able to get the Monty into the plant spot? Will the plant spot be denied?
Oh, free kill.
Whoa. There's Fishlike on the duel with player on the outside, but the shots don't quite connect, and in fact he takes more damage himself. But here goes the Monty, just as you pointed out, putting pressure immediately on the Raptors' position. That being said, there is the Azami of Pion, I believe, on the other side to support one of his teammates. There's 2 players on Rafters, in fact. So what do you reckon here? Monty versus a double Rafters hold, right? Do the attack then win this off the back of the info that they get, or are they playing into the defense?
The Monty is mostly scare tactic. I'd expect SSG to be baiting the Monty, and the attack is going to come from somewhere else. Wishoy and Tayu are also downstairs to help for this Garage take, especially if Force overextends. Oh, no! He unshields.
That's a huge risk, and Rek is looking for an aggressive play as well on the breach, but he thinks better of it as they have the advantage, and there's no reason to give SSG a kill back. The Monty's gone down so early, and with no impact, a fickle attempt from Forest.
It looked like Scarz was set up to retake Garage if that Monty did push up, but he made it easy for him. He unshielded. And now Hot and Cold is going hunting. They obviously can't push through Garage anymore. They're going to try to rotate and clear out the master area. The rest of Scarz is just going to fall back. They have that advantage on the Monty. They just can't get picked now.
It's possible. There is a roamer downstairs, and Hot and Cold is on the lurk.
So Shoy on the other side, he seems pretty aware that there is now a player inside of Bar. Oh, but they've got live info on at the moment. Red ping's going out as he rotates down to safety all the way through the secret stairs. But that does allow Hot and Cold space now inside of the ground floor. He is the one with 2 grenades in his hands. The anchors aren't going to feel so safe now.
He's doing a phenomenal job at staying alive. Just staying alive as a roamer is the biggest thing. You don't need to get kills. You just got to stay alive, because now SSG has to worry about where Wishoy is. Is he going to come up main? Is he going to come up blue? So they're going to have to start hitting the site, and they always have this risky feeling that they're going to get flanked.
Oh, and they might indeed. Wishoy reveals his position, but he doesn't overextend. Hot and Cold caught in the crossfire, goes down as another roamer goes below.
The entry on in for Ashen, though, as they start to creep their way on into the bomb site. Only 35 seconds left to go, and it's False to open up the equation.
Oh, Ashen for a double. Another one now for J9O. This round has flipped on its head, but Pion will not sit down. 2 more kills for him as J90 is the last one standing. There's information on the side, and this is going to be the easiest plant denial of his life. 4K for the captain of Scarz. 1 round away from making this comeback a reality.
Amazing play from Pion. I mean, he got 3 and the 4th with the impact from below. Just shutting SSG down. SSG, it looked like they were in a good position to take the site. They obviously were winning the fights.
I don't think I've ever heard Pion go trash talk against these guys, man. Pion is like the sweetest soul ever, but he's just like, cool, SSG taking their tactical timeout. Oh, man.
Makes you wonder what SSG are going to be saying right now. As, of course, we can speak English, can't speak Japanese. Let's see what they're saying.
There, look at the printouts. They got the printouts of like the exact strats that the enemies are going to do, their strats. They have a lot of them.
What you say for Jim? You said Than Thatch?
Oh, very quiet tactical timeout. Speak up, guys. We can't hear you. Yeah, I'm not sure if you got anything out of that, but I certainly didn't.
Call out. I heard him pretty much say, keep it simple. And I think Forrest was kind of saying, you know, hey, that round might be on you guys. Like, you got a nasty shot on the end shielding. I think they understand where they went wrong. A lot of people would look at that and say, wow, SSG look like they're really down. You know, they were quiet, so you'd obviously say, oh, wow, maybe they think they're getting nervous here. But I think that's... I'm blanking on the word, but that is the confidence you want to have in your coach to be able to just quiet down, listen to exactly what you need to be done and what you need to get done, and then lock back into it.
And if I was SSG, I would take a bit of confidence from the fact that they turned a 3 versus 5 into a 3 versus 2.
That's where SSG is strongest, when they're able to give misinformation, come from everywhere, and be able...
Bless you.
5 seconds.
No, I just laughed. They're able to attack the site from all angles. Ashen especially getting 2 in the site, walking up rafters. They're able to get their picks because you don't really have a good grasp on where SSG is. They don't give you an idea on the one area that they're going to be attacking from.
Look, I love your analysis, Fox, but are you going to be a brand risk on my cast?
No. I'm trying not to.
Oh dear, it's dangerous having the NA player on for what is our hopes of an APAC victory, but so far SSG have started to run away with this one. 5-4, Scarz looking to bring it back. Very quick entry though from Hot and Cold over on the other side. Oh, sorry, it's actually J90 on the Ash, not Hot and Cold. As he makes his way in, often not the injection player for this team, but will play it early on. The rest of Scarz, I was going to say, I've actually forfeited back into the bomb site, but what were you going to go for?
I was going to say it was a very fast entry from SSG. Whenever they take a timeout, they usually have a game plan of what, it's usually a fast game plan too on what they're going to do. Obviously they were expecting a roam, and Scarz set up a beautiful bait roam with the mute jammers, making it seem like they were going to play up top. But like you said, they went all back downstairs. So SSG is now spending time on an area that's completely clear, but they're doing it fast. So it might be a good give and take.
Space given up now to SSG as they can start to make the mid-round work. That's why we need to turn our attention to Hot and Cold on the sledge to see what work he can get done on the floor. There are only 2 sets of C4s that he needs to contest with. Washoy's already got 1 prepped over on the other side, just beneath the kitchen hatch that Hot and Cold's got to worry about, but the other set of C4s is a little further away from that. He's just trying to land this shot. Oh, onto a player behind the triple wall. That's a nice little angle he's got there, but the Wamai on the other side, that's wrecked. It's not going to give away his life.
Pre-ripped C4 for Washoy here, just below the kitchen. If he can find a kill and get a numbers advantage going into an execute, that would be massive.
Whenever you're playing in that area too, it kind of feels like a game of Battleship because you're just trying to listen to where they're coming from. Oh, the angle. You might be able to see his head. Oh, a couple shots on him.
But he's C4 himself as well. I think it's time for Washoy to get out of dodge. He's actually going to go and play inside of dirt. He's going to get droned out. He'll take that down. He is low HP for any potential late round engagement. Forrest needs to land the first bullet.
He's going to make his way in, but with only 30 seconds left to go, it's go time for SSG as they start to plan out this mid-round. It's always quite tricky in these 5 versus 5 executes going into the basement. What do you do? It looks like it's going to be a kitchen hatch drop for them. They have a plethora of utility to try and flood their way on in. There goes one of the grenades from Rotten Cold to try and be sunk onto the triple player. Oh, but there's a player in moto. That's Ashen on the other side to open up the equation.
First kill for Ashen, another one as Hot and Cold joins the fray. Time ticking now, Scarz have fallen apart. Flawless for SSG.
Well, the energy's back. We're back.
You think?
NA
We are
Copium.
so back.
We are back. We are so back.
Hey mate, they have match points, so I wouldn't say it's Copium at this stage. A 2-round lead as Scarz had finally taken their tactical timeout.
That attack was very well executed from SSG. You asked in the middle of that round, what did it look like SSG was going to do? How did they get a step in the door? How did they get to planning? They had one player drop Moto, one player push down Blue, one player push down Dirt, one player push down Kitchen, a player Kitchen Hatch. They attacked every single angle. The whole round was leading you to think that they were going to drop Kitchen Hatch. That was maybe the main pushing force from SSG. But from every other angle they pushed down, everybody got a pick. Everybody was able to get their own 1v1, especially Ashen dropping in Moto, getting the Church player, and then also getting the Blue player, allowing, right here, you see it right here, allowing J90 to pretty much walk down Blue uncontested and be able to help his team.
Nice stuff there from SSG, leaning into the gunpowder that they have on their roster. Keeping things simple, I think, was the one phrase that we had from Cooler, and I think not getting too caught up in the pre-execute phase and actually leaning into their own confidence as individual players, I think was what they really needed there. It's really cool to see Ashen as well wake up in the server at the moment. 10-7's not bad scoreline for the rookie of the roster as Scarz off the back there. Tactical timeout are going to take us over into gym and bedroom. Looks like they are looking for a little bit of an extension over horizontally, but not too much. But they also, like SSG were doing, are leaning into that, the mirror Azami setup off the back of the bandit on the Pion as well, to try and keep things closed off.
The only common theme I'm seeing here from the last map is when SSG is ready to set up and when they're ready to go for those executes, losing somebody in those moments, losing somebody to a flank, losing somebody to an aggressive push. Scarz can't let up in those moments. SSG needs to be able to shut that down if they want to finalize this match.
Oh, Washoy taken down immediately. That was a nice attempt there, but all of these SSG players seemingly ready for it.
J90 as well, ready off the back of that for someone to be peeking out of the server window, but the rest of Scarz playing the discipline game so far off the back of the first pick going in the way of SSG. Pretty extended extension, actually. Pretty fortified extension, actually, on the side of Scarz. They even dedicated some of those keeper barricades over to rafters, but having seen the wall being opened up and with the man down, they decide to fall on back to the bomb site, worried that SSG might be thinking about hitting it.
That strip impact run out actually could work in your favor a lot of the time, but that is a very common thing that teams do in NA.
Okay.
My team actually does that a lot. I'm pretty sure Fish died the exact same way to SSG that way. They're always ready for it. It's a very common theme.
Pressure on the Jacuzzi wall, though. They are going to try and play the trick minigame. It does seem like Pion is going to be able to get the thermite charge, but not the Selma charge on the other side. So a little hole being made in the top of main, but it's not a breach hole just yet. They can't quite walk in and actually make an execute work off the back of it. Fishlike is in a bit of a pinch as well on main stairs. There is a player playing his cutoff. That's Ashen on the other side. He's got his drone. Oh, but he finds the timing. Just gives him a little bit of a window to run away back to the safety of the bomb site. Incoming.
Here comes good progress. Forest moving up the red stairs. Now the Azami has locked him out here, but he does have more nades. As Tayo's heard that position. Oh, here comes Forest, the perfect read, but Tayo, the perfect timing. He's incredibly lucky he moved at that precise moment, and SSG are still yet to clear his position.
Playing inside the green box area is very risky. You have to be able to navigate through a minefield knowing exactly when and where the nades are going to come. If a drone spots you, you know a nade's coming soon after. The zombie barricades are going to keep the attackers at bay and give Tayu a little more time, and I don't think they want to waste any more nades for this player. They only have one nade for hot and cold.
Oh, and Fishlike's found one elsewhere. Not sure where that went down, but Ashen's been a huge player. Red cannot secure his pick as he does down hot and cold, and Fishlike finds another one. Forest might finally take down Tayo, but it's not going to happen. Rex taking out Faults. Both of the players on the balcony, the last one standing for SSG.
Not such a good spot now for SSG as they make their way in. It's hot and cold to try and double down the position inside of Con, but not going to work in his favor. Tayo around the other side is going to claim the life of the final player of SSG for another round for Scarz.
Taiyu played that spot phenomenally. Not only avoiding the nades, but playing off of his teammates, playing off of the keeper barriers. Obviously, rec peek and connector. The timing for Hot and Cold to go for that nade, that last nade that we talked about not being used on Taiyu, was going to be used for connector door so that the rest of his team could try to push in. Rec just had a beautiful timing. He was able to down him, which gave the rest of his team time to pick off the extremity players from SSG, just going for those 1v1s.
Well, they've converted their tactical timeout now. And with that as well, all of the bomb sites are actually available. Cache CCTV has once again been unlocked. Now, this bomb site was a very tight round. Actually, according to the top-down view that we've got in our second monitor, they've changed bomb sites completely, Mandy. This is a curveball we have not yet seen. Oh, sorry, I thought that was bar. I'm crazy. Spoiler, we are going back down to the basement.
I was just thinking, I was like, oh no, Dev, we're doing a Dev and Mandy classic, not knowing how to read the bomb site.
I can never tell what bomb site it is.
We're terrible at it. It's both of us that are terrible at it. See, it would be good if like one of us was okay at it so we could like pick up on the mistakes, but we're both awful.
Well, that's the real reason we brought Fox in.
It's definitely not me. Definitely not me. It's you guys, but don't worry. The basement bomb site, I mean, we haven't seen too much out of Scarz like we did SSG, going for the aggressive roam to aggressive defense. Maybe this round we'll see a little bit of a roam, but it doesn't look like it's assisted with any utility. There's going to be a lot of info, so whether that dictates Scarz falling back down to the basement and then retaking up with their Valcams with the Solus, or they're really going to fight for up top control based off of where they can get information.
And there are two players for Scarz on the top floor. That's Rek and Washoy to be the first point of contest as the entry starts to make their way on through. Rek has an inkling that there might be someone entering in from Stock. That's actually Forrest, who is droning over on the other side, thinks better of it and decides not to make that entry work immediately for him. Actually, a couple players at the moment of SSG on drones, just thinking about what they want to do next. Ooh, but here goes Ashen, having a think about jumping in through Con.
This roam clear is very interesting because they're all split up. It doesn't look like they have a direct push. They have a guy hot tub, a guy connector window. You have Hot and Cold holding the kitchen and main stairs from bar, being able to shut down anybody that tries to rotate back from bar to the main stairs. But you're going to find yourself in a position where no one wants to be the player to go. But there's Forrest. He's always the player to go. Walks up red. He's able to shut down Rek and connector. Wishoy's going to get taken down by Hot and Cold, dropping down the Lodge Dash.
Yeah, really solid breakdown off the top floor. Very much mini execute style as a bunch of them jumped in through the top floor at the same time. Now it's Fish-like in a man disadvantage to try and hold on to his position inside a lounge, and he does so to perfection, claiming a really nice headshot onto the player trying to rotate inside of blue. But here goes Taiyu as well, feeling the pressure of the man disadvantage, looking for his own play. He's going to be shot down. Hot and Cold to claim a second, but it's still Fish-like in a pesky position inside of lounge.
Over-aggression punishes Scarz. A big play to lose in Taiyu. Perhaps Fish-like's heroics could have brought it back. He actually has the diffuser now in storage, but SSG are playing this slow.
SSG has time to play with. They can make their way over to the diffuser. They don't have to worry about contesting Fish-like one-on-one. They should absolutely not give any 1v1s.
Oh, as you say that, I think you curse them. Fox Fish-like is under a world of pain though, and he is eventually traded. 3 kills in the round for Hot and Cold as Pyong reveals his position, trying to hold on to that diffuser, but Hot and Cold finally locks in the game.